So episode 2 of The Curious Case of Natalia Grace. I have just rewatched episode 2. It's called Child or Imposter, Infant or Imposter, something like that. Okay, so according to Michael Barnett, our unreliable narrator, they've adopted this child and she's tried to kill them. Okay, they were told she was 6, and now because she is physically developed and mature, they understand that she's older, but they don't know how old she is. So they're nervous. They've been taking her to mental health professionals, and they take her to one doctor who was like, okay, so number 1, she's a sociopath. Number 2, there's nothing you can do about it. This is just how she is. And number 3, you can't let her roam freely in your house. Everywhere, you have to lock her in her room, or everywhere she goes, you have to escort her. I personally believe no mental health professional told you that. Now, you may have decided that all on your own, but I don't think a mental health professional told this man this information, but this is what he said. And for right now, we're going to take him at his word. So, I forget what happened, but the police show up at their house at one point, and the policeman reportedly said, oh yeah, like, we see this all the time. She's probably the wrong age. And we recommend that you just go get her re-aged. And Michael Barnett, the father, was like, wait, that's a thing? And they were like, oh, yeah. In other countries, they fake the birth certificate and they just put whatever age. So if you just go ahead and go to the courts and go to the doctors and lawyers and whatever and get her re-aged, you're going to be fine. And this police officer had done some investigating, and they were like, here's the picture of her when she entered the country. We think, not entirely sure. And in this picture, she has baby teeth. Now, they were not sure of the cops, not sure of the age of the picture, but in the first picture, she had baby teeth. When they adopted her, there's another picture of her where she's supposed to be 6, but she has a full set of adult teeth. So they know she's older, but they don't know how much older. But they've decided to keep Natalia at the house, but they're scared and they can never go out and they got to lock her in the room. Okay. But they decided to go out on a family outing for one of the kids' birthdays. So they're going to go to a local farm and milk some cows. That sounds like fun. Maybe for them, not for me, but okay. So the farm says, oh, there's an electric fence. And so you have to sign this waiver and promise not to go near the electric fence because it's dangerous. So according to Michael Barnett, he signs the waiver, and according to him also, Natalia's eyes just light up because in her brain, she's like, oh, this is how I can kill a whole family on the electric fence. This is going to be great. And then Michael says, and then Natalia signs the waiver. So if Natalia is a minor, how come a minor is signing a waiver? That's not a thing, sir, but okay. So they're walking down the trail. They get near the electric fence, and Natalia, her feet hurt. She's tired. She's on the ground, whatever. And so the mom is like, no. Take the kids. Go enjoy the birthday. Milk yourself a cow. We're going to sit here and I'm going to deal with this child who won't get up for whatever reason. So Michael says he walks up the trail and he looks back after hearing screams and he sees Natalia trying to throw her mom into the electric fence. Natalia is 2'11", I think, and I think she weighed 45 pounds. Okay. So she's trying to throw a full-grown, and she's disabled, of course. She's trying to throw a full-grown adult woman into an electric fence, according to Michael. And so whatever happens, there's a big kerfluffle. The cops get called, the paramedics get called. And so she gets taken back to the hospital and they admit her to the psych hospital. They admitted her as a child. But at the hospital, they looked at her and they were like, oh, this is not a child. She's physically developed. Her bust line is developed. The shrubs are all there, everything. We're not putting her in the child wing. We're putting her in the adult wing. Okay, fine. They're going to get her mentally evaluated there in Indianapolis in this nice mental health hospital, the stress center. That's a nice name for a mental hospital. So they put her in the stress center. And some things happen in the stress center. Now, the stress center employees are like, oh, no, you're not getting me fired. No, what we're not going to do is get me fired in confidentiality. But over the phone, if you like take out my face and whatever, I'll tell you what happened. According to multiple hospital workers who have no dog in this fight, so I'm going to believe them, Miss Natalia was wearing revealing clothes to show off her bust line. She was talking very inappropriately to the men about having a boyfriend and all the favors she could do for them and all this other kind of stuff. Oh, this is not a 9-year-old. So in my mind, we're at least 15, 16, right? Like, okay, she's team too much. And they were like, Michael says, they said, oh yeah, you got to take her because she's a child and she's not safe. They never said that, sir. But okay, that's the lie you telling us. Fine. And so the next ruse they tried to get rid of this girl was they took her to like a little people's convention and tried to give her away under the table. You can just give away humans? I didn't know that was a thing, but okay. So they reached out to these families and they were like, we have this child to adopt, but first you got to pay us like $30,000 and then you can have her because we need to be recouped for our medical expenses. You're not rehoming a Labrador. No, this is a human and you make agreements and you sort it out and whatever. Listen, if she's this dangerous, don't keep her, but don't sell her. You can't sell. Slavery is over, y'all. Since like 1812. So, one family was like, yeah, I am given the gift of discernment, AKA we got some common damn sense. So they used their common damn sense to not adopt this child. And another family was like, yeah, no, we can't afford that. Our pockets are not going to allow us to purchase another human at this time. And at some point, child, I forget how, even though I just watched the episode, an investigator was sent to the Ukraine to get to the bottom of this whole mess. Natalia's biological mother has a twin sister, and they found the sister, Tatiana and Anna. Anna is the mom, Tatiana is the sister. So they get Anna on the phone, and she's saying in Ukrainian, Russian, I don't know what language they speak. But it was translated there on the screen. The mother was like, why do you keep calling me? Now, this is important. The biological mother is like, we sent her to America, and 2 families have thrown her away. 2 families? 2 families. We only knew about one prior adoptive family. 2 families in America have thrown her away. I have been going through this for 17 years. 17 years, you say? 2 families, you say? Okay. So now Miss Natalia is at least 17 years old. And the birth certificate says she's much younger, whatever. So, the Barnetts feel like they're in quite the pickle. They have a child who is severely acting out. And this is what I believe. Now there's like what was said and what I believe. This is what I believe based on just what I decided having watching this movie, obviously not having full information. Number 1, the birth certificate was faked from the Ukraine so that they could adopt this child. And then several families got her and moved her along because she had behavior issues. That makes sense. Maybe some of them felt overwhelmed with the medical issues or whatever. That makes sense to me too. The Barnetts say that the adoption agency tipped them off to who the previous adoptive family was. I don't believe that. They were going through a backpack and they found if in case this backpack is lost, contact, blah, blah, blah. That's where they found the name of the previous family. They find this name, they contact these people. These people are like, nope, leave me alone, leave me out of it. I don't want to know nothing about nothing. Fine. They were able to pawn off this poor child, woman, whatever she is. Now the Barnetts are stuck with her. As so many chances, the Barnetts had the opportunity to do the right thing, AKA surrender her behind. But that is not what they did. We also find out in this episode that there is a DV history between the Barnetts. There was mutual combat in that house. The police report said that Michael had his wife in a chokehold and threw her to the ground and blah, blah, blah. One of the neighbors said that the wife was fussing at Michael. But people fuss at their husbands. That's not a thing. But that it was a very combative relationship between the 2 of us. Remember episode 1 when he was like, we were the perfect family. Everything was perfect. Everything was fine. The year that the DV charge came about was the same year your youngest child was born. So you had a pregnant wife and you put her in a chokehold, and you gonna tell me how wonderful your family is? 6 years later, 7 years later, 10 years later? Sir, are your pants on fire? Are your jewels getting scorched? Because you're lying. Liar, liar. Anyway, so now we know Natalia has issues and this family is liars. They were, according to uninterested parties who happen to come in contact with them, they lie about everything. They lie every time their mouths are open. So a bunch of terrible people so far as we can tell, but we are only on episode 2 and there are 6 episodes. So I'm now going to continue my crafting while I rewatch episode 3, and I will be back soon. Bye.